That went by pretty quick. Guess it does work. Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're out the range to talk about the fixed up ARV. And what is that? It's a 9mm AR15 I bought from PSA, which is Palmetto State Armory. And I did my first video. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. We ran into what would be a pretty big safety issue in that video. And today's video is to go over my experience with customer support. I bought this just like anybody else on the website, and then I had to send it off through copper to have it serviced, and we'll talk all about that. And we'll also find out whether or not they fixed the problem that I sent it in for. But before we get started with today's video, guys, if you enjoy the content we produce here, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and also hit that notification bell. Comment down below, helps us with the algorithms, and plus we love just reading those comments and responding to them when we can. I typically stick around for the first day or two after a video goes live to answer those questions you may have. With that being said, let's see if my PSA ARV is working properly now after it's back from warranty work. So the problem that we keep randomly encountering is that right there. It did not grab the round in the chamber. If I let this go, it's now going to cause a malfunction. Drop the mag out. So you can see the round in there. And this happens with, they grabbed it that time. This happens with the 124 grain and the 115 grain. But we go in to clear the weapon. Just sometimes it won't grab that round in there. Eventually, sometimes it'll get underneath the extractor claw. Other times it won't. We've examined the extractor claw. It freely moves. It has a nice sharp edge. As I demonstrated, it'll hold on to the rim of a case. I don't know if the headspace is out of whack on this gun or what, but again, we've had no malfunctions with it whatsoever. So, yeah, it's weird. So I got my rifle back after discovering that issue. Now, I did get online once I encountered that problem and started looking through some of the Facebook groups that are dedicated to PSA firearms and some discussion forums. And I did find other people having the same issue. And then other people said that their guns worked fine, that they extracted rounds fine. One guy even went so far as to say that he called customer support and they told him that that's normal behavior for the gun. I don't know if that's a true report or not, but clearly that's not the case, because when I got my gun back almost 4 months later, I sent this gun in on 4/15 and it is 8/12, and I got this gun back 2 days ago. So it took almost 4 months for me to get it repaired, but it does seem like it's working pretty good. So we're going to start off. I have one magazine. Now these are PSA mags, and one of the reasons I like the ARV is because it uses standard Scorpion Evo mags, or these PSA magazines, which have 5 extra rounds in them. So there's 35 rounds in here. So we'll do a full 35 round mag dump, and we'll show you the gun extracts properly, all that good stuff now. All right, not too shabby. 35 shots, 35 hits at 100 yards. It shot a pretty decent little group with just this simple red dot sight. So far, it seems like the ARV is working. If you guys haven't checked out primaryarms.com, please swing by and check them out. They help support us here at the Military Arms Channel. They sell all sorts of great stuff. It's a complete online store. You can find everything from firearms, optics, bipods to anything you can think of. And they have really good prices, fast shipping, and outstanding customer support. So again, please swing by and check out primaryarms.com. When the gun came back, it didn't come with anything in the box that would indicate as to what they did to the gun to remedy the issue of it not picking up the rim of a live round in the chamber. We never had any functional issues with the gun. Anytime the gun fired, it would cycle perfectly. We wouldn't have any problems. That's because the recoil impulses are pushing that case back. It gets the rim underneath the extractor and out she would go. But if we were feeding from the magazine and then trying to, cycle a round out, the vast majority of the time it simply wouldn't pick that live round up and eject it. Now I thought perhaps it was a headspace issue. Now, the paperwork, as I said, came back, and generally they'll say something in the paperwork as to what they did. Replaced a barrel, replaced a bolt, replaced the extractor. I didn't get that notification on my paperwork. I just got sent back my original warranty paperwork that I had submitted to have the gun repaired. Now, I can't really see any tool marks or anything on the bolt, but the extractor to me looks just like the other one did. Again, I don't see any punch or tool marks on the hole, on the pins, I should say, the roll pins that go through the extractor hole that holds it in place. So, but they, it's the factory. They can punch those out without marring those up probably. But so they either replaced the bolt, the extractor, or both. But I'm guessing probably just the extractor, or maybe they reset the headspace. I was thinking that'd be my most likely issue. It was slightly out of headspace, so when that round would get tossed up into the chamber, that bolt would come home. The face of it rests against the face of the chamber, and it was just a little bit out of spec, therefore it couldn't get the rim underneath the extractor claw. So whatever they did, it does seem to work, but there's no clear indication as to what it was that they fixed. But I'm going to go ahead and say they probably checked that barrel to make sure the headspace was right and maybe put a different extractor claw on it. But we've had no functional issues with it so far. So when we took the gun straight out of the box, we did a simple extraction test with it. We loaded up a magazine, stuck it in there, and ran the bolt until the magazine was empty. And right out of the box, the gun was extracting just fine. Now, I don't know when I actually encountered the problem in the first video. It could have been that way right out of the box, or it could have started to happen after we had fired the gun for a little bit. So now that we have, some ammunition through the gun, let's go ahead and see if it's going to continue to extract live rounds in the chamber. And you'll notice I'm tilting the barrel down, so gravity is not helping here. All right, so it would seem that whatever the fix was that they did, they've got the gun working perfectly. And given that, now that they've resolved that problem for me, this is really a nice 9mm AR type firearm. It really is. The fact that it uses standard magazines that are becoming a standard. They're only $19 for factory original CZ mags, You can pick up some of these banana clips from PSA. They're slightly more expensive because they're, you know, painted like a banana. But yeah, these guns really seem to be good. It's always ran fine in terms of cycling. We've only shot ball rounds through it, but it has a nice generous feed ramp inside there. So I suspect it would feed hollow points just fine. I don't have hollow points to test it with right now. We're still on a limited ammo budget as we work through getting over this whole, you know, pandemic mess. But we would like to thank our friends over at Federal for supplying the ammunition to the channel so that we could continue to bring you videos like this. They do so free of charge, and I've used them ever since I was a kid. So, with all that being said, what do I think of the gun? Well, it's expensive. You know, it was $1,129 when it was purchased. It seems like they may not be all that popular. When I bought this, this was still right in the middle of all the craziness. The PSA website was completely wiped out of anything resembling a firearm, AKV or otherwise, but these were in stock. And I thought that was a bit odd, so I figured, well, let's give it a shot. And it worked great right up until we were trying to clear the gun to go down range or something, and I realized I can't get a live round out of the chamber. But now that that's fixed, it's a nice little 9mm AR. Is it worth the $1,130? Well, that's something only you can decide, but the gun seems to work well. I love the fact that it works with Scorpion Evo magazines, and yeah, otherwise it seems like a fairly decently built, very simple 9mm simple blowback AR. Guys, if you enjoy content like this, please consider becoming part of our Patreon family. There's a link in the video description below. You'll get early access to videos like this one. You'll have private access to me. I answer all private communications with our Patreons. And we've built a really fun community. Again, over there, you can find all that good stuff following the link in the video description below to Patreon. Also, right here on YouTube, guys, there's a little join button underneath the video player you're watching right now. Give that join button a click and consider supporting us here on YouTube. And last but not least, guys, please swing by and check out coppercustom.com. Thank you for 13 years of support, and we'll talk to you guys soon.